All right. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you had a nice day today. We're going to be getting started here in just a second. We'll be going over the market, going over a couple plays from today, talk about what to look forward to the rest of the week. All right, let's get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for August 24th, 2021. Q's up 0.31, SPY up 0.15, and IWM, as we came in today, neutral on this one and bullish on the other two. IWM continuing to work its way back up into some resistance now. So a good recovery as far as IWM potentially turning bullish. But not really a good place to start a position here. Multiple bars up into resistance. So we'll see. We saw that the IWM didn't want to turn back around, which if there was the point in time where that should happen or the downtrend should be maintained, that was it. Didn't want to follow through, and so that told us IWM no longer bearish. Okay. And so across the board here on the Qs, the SPY, the IWM, nothing changes. This is still neutral for me, and Qs and SPY, of course, still bullish. New all-time highs on the Qs, new all-time highs on the SPY. And like I said today, we might get a little pullback or a little gap down. It's just a narrow range bar because it's been a pretty significant move back up. So a little bit of a pause today. Of some kind, not that surprising here. SPY kind of flat on the day, but did make new all-time highs, which we've seen them do, almost seems every other day for the past month or so. So not too much to read into today's price action. We're still working our way higher. We could get a pullback in the Qs and SPY and still be bullish. Nothing really to read into from today's price action. Okay, but we will be taking a look at some plays from today. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. I kind of start off the day thinking that there might not be anything for me to do. Kara was setting up an initial 1 minute pullback, and I told the room this too. I'm trying to be more passive at the open. Okay, just let more of the chart develop. Okay, just because there's just more noise at the open, and because we aren't getting the same quality of gaps that we're getting during earnings season, we're not getting the same number of gaps. It's fine to just let kind of the chart develop and then go from there. If you were trading with me yesterday, I started off at the open, XCRS didn't follow through, and then kind of took a while before we played the DVAX. And the DVAX ended up working pretty nicely there on that breakout, closing at the high of the day, and then actually just as nice or maybe even a better move today, but I wasn't aware of the DVAX today. And so today, I think if we look at even just the trade from today on the TBPH, it was pretty sloppy at the open, right? Tried to break out, but not that a breakout we'd play because this is a very bearish gap. Okay. Tried to break out, got rejected, made new lows, and then popped up again. And then all through here, looking like, maybe it's going to be a sideways nothing kind of day because of the gap size. So it wasn't until this finally broke the low of the day under 66, I believe, where finally was kind of participating, which finally started to trade. So let me scoot back over here a little bit, okay, so we can see. So here's the kind of all that noise in the beginning, a lot of back and forth here, and then finally we get a nice decent pattern. 20 MA catches up, right, and then you get the drop, right? So the point is, you can use your ability to read price at the open, but there's just a little bit more noise. So if you feel like, as I do at the open, there's a little bit more noise going on right now, and as opposed to having two favorite gap ups, two favorite gap downs, and really knowing what to focus on, I'm coming into these days with this is maybe one of or two of the best that I see, but then again, still maybe not as good as the gaps that we had a couple weeks ago. Um, and so, letting those develop their pattern and play out a bit, and then playing a more solid pattern, to me is kind of the way that I'm going to go. Okay. Because also you look at the Airbnb from Sammy this afternoon, right? Very nice mini bars formed in the pattern. They're just more reliable, which makes sense. If you're reading price, you're reading charts. Okay, the more information that you have, right, the better expectation you can have, the better prediction you can make. Okay, and so of course, the benefit of playing at the open, you can get a tighter stop, you're going to get more volatility and more movement. So, it goes both ways, right? That volatility from what I'm seeing lately also is creating a lot of noise. So, the point that I'm trying to make is that I'm going to continue to be a bit more passive at the open. Now, I played this XERS yesterday. I like this gap a lot. Played it in the first, 10 minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes. And that's fine. If I really like the gap, still can go for it. But you just want to make sure that if you're going after something at the open, that it's a really good high quality gap, because you just don't have as much information, and you're really playing based off of the price action of the gap, the shock value of the gap, the breaking of resistance of the gap, whatever the case is, and hopefully all of the above. Okay. So, these days, if there's not a standout favorite at the open, I think it's okay to kind of lay back a little bit at the open and let the plays develop. Okay? So that's really the point I'm trying to make. I'm just noticing, the plays that we're going after in the afternoon, there's not as much to choose from, okay? But they're more accurate, more reliable, right? And it makes sense. We have more information by that time, right? We have more price information, more chart information to go off of, right? Okay, so I probably don't need to say it, but right now focus is quality over quantity as well. Okay, so hopefully you're doing well. That's going to continue to be the focus going into the rest of the week, and probably into the month and into next month until the next earnings season, where we get a deluge of a bunch of gaps and earnings reports and things to trade. Right now, it's just letting the plays come to you and develop, and not being too aggressive, especially if there's not a lot of high quality plays to choose from. Okay. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you did well. We'll be back at it tomorrow, and I will talk to you then. Have a good evening.